Hello, love. Sarah Sparks here. I am checking to see. There we go. We are up and running. How's everyone doing? Give me some hearts. Give me some thumbs up. Tell me on a scale of 1 to 10. Write in the comments. How are you feeling? 1 being, not so much. 10 being, hell yeah. Let's get this party started. It is 4:36 Eastern Standard Time, and I have been on amazing calls. And one thing that you should know about me is that when things happen in threes, I start paying attention. I am like, all right, Spirit, you have been trying to put this information in front of me. You have been trying to tell me what's going on. So I am going to pay attention. And that is what has happened. I've had these amazing conversations with 3 different women who have such vast knowledge in meditation, in visualization, in creating their lives, in resistance-free living, that they have all, in some fashion, been part of my past, present, and now future. And they have given me such clarity around how to listen to your divine guidance that I had to pop on here and share it with you. I want you to know, like, I don't feel that things have to be so complicated. I can live this life that is easy, effortless, enjoyable, full of ease and joy and glory. And that's really what I want for you. But I don't always think that way. I had this work hard, spend a lot of money mentality. So thought I had to work really hard for what I wanted. I had to pay a lot of money to get the degree that I wanted. And the lesson that I had to learn was that life can be really easy and effortless and enjoyable, and it doesn't always have to be this hard. And so, or complicated, it can be really simple. And that lesson came when Jenny and Bruce, good friends of Craig and mine, asked me to officiate their wedding. And they were the first couple that I ever officiated, because they were the first people to ask me. They said to me, Sarah, could you officiate our wedding? And it was probably, I think, in February 2012. And I believe they got married, correct me if I'm wrong, if you guys happen to be listening, April, the end of April 20 something of 2012. And so it was a few months before, and they asked me to officiate their wedding. And I was like, there's just no way, guys. Like, I think I'm going to need to have be a notary, or maybe I need to go be an ordained minister. And that's going to take years. I would love to. And I love that you asked me, but I don't think will be able to. And they're like, you'll figure it out. We'd love to have you get back with us. So I sat and I asked Spirit, okay, how do I do this? And I remember Kathy Perry, not Katy Perry, Kathy Perry. And if you're listening, Kathy had mentioned to me that she was able to do energy work by being an ordained minister online. And it was some Florida rule or something. I'm not even sure. So I remembered that as I was connecting with Spirit. So I went ahead and I was like, I called her, or maybe I messaged her. I think I called, and I was like, Kathy, I remember you telling me this. How do I become an officiant? And I guess an ordained minister, whatever. I just need to officiate a friend's wedding. And she's like, oh, you just go on to Universal Life Church and you sign up. It's takes seconds, takes minutes, whatever. You just pay your fee and you become an ordained minister. And I wasn't looking to run a church or get in the way of any true reverend ordained ministers. I was just going to officiate a friend's wedding. And so I was like, all right, so this isn't some sort of hoax. This is not a sales pitch for Universal Life Church. I'm just sharing that life can be really easy. So I had it in my mindset that this was going to become an officiant. It was going to take lots of time and lots of money because in the past it had for me. I have my master's in public administration. I have a BA in human resources, business management. So I had spent tens of thousands of dollars, my parents had, on my education. And so I thought that this was going to take a lot of time and money to become this officiant. And for it to be 30 some odd dollars and minutes to become an officiant, oh my goodness, it blew my mind. It literally blew away all of it. It eliminated all of the beliefs that I had about myself, about others, about this limiting belief that it would take lots of time and money to get things accomplished. It just blew it out of the water. And I was like, oh my gosh, things could be really simple. And then I remembered receiving the 5 steps in January of 2012 on how to listen to your divine guidance. And I didn't really do anything with them because I thought that just seems like it's just too easy. This is just what I do on a daily basis. I mean, this just is just who I am. Allow, ask, receive, trust, act. I didn't think anything of it. I just was like, well, I'll just let it sit on it. It wasn't until January of 2013 that I actually shared it with anybody. And so by eliminating that belief in February, when I became, or maybe even it was March, I don't even know. Jenny and Bruce asked me in February, maybe I became an officiant in March. Needless to say, I went on and I officiated over 375 weddings through knowing couples, but the majority of them came through tie the knot beach weddings that I got to officiate in flip-flops on a beach at sunset for couples who love of all. And it blew my mind that something could be so simple and easy. And by opening up my mind to something being so simple and easy, it took me back to how to listen to divine guidance. Because I was the one that had to study really hard and learn all the things. And I felt like I really couldn't be myself because I had to perfect everything and know all the things in order for me to really be this person that I wanted to be. But there was something in me that just knew that I needed to listen to this divine guidance, this allow, ask, receive, trust, act. But I didn't know, was it going to be really useful for people? So that was the question that was mulling around in my mind for quite some time. And January of 2013, there was a group of us that all got together out in Colorado through Kim Hill, Kim Cruz now, her mastermind, year-long mastermind. And I was just sharing, oh yeah, this is how you listen to divine guidance. This is how I do. And this is kind of my jam. And as soon as I said how to listen, and I was like, oh, do you guys want to know the steps? And they all took out their pens, which y'all can take out your pens now and your paper and write down how to listen to divine guidance. Allow, ask, receive, trust, act. So I just left it and they all wrote it down. And I was like, oh, I observe, because that's what I've been since I've been really super little, is I'm an observer. And so I just observed them all writing this down. And I was like, oh, maybe there's something to this. Sure, okay. So I sat on it for a few more years and I would randomly share it with one-on-one clients. And then I created the group program of how to live your chosen path. And I included it in that. And then I took note, this is what I want to share with you. I just took note of my own life. I listened to my divine guidance. And this is not, I want to be very clear with people, because this has been the question is, yeah, but how do I channel? How do I channel like you? All right, ladies and gents, I did not start off channeling. I had to build up the confidence and trust in myself to channel for someone else. It's like truly loving another. You have to love yourself first. If you want this ideal mate, you have to be that ideal mate. I wanted to channel for myself first. And for the longest time, I had so much pride and ego around it, not even being called channeling. I would be like, oh, I'm just sharing information. And then finally I was just like, screw it. People get channeling. They get the word. I'm channeling spirit. we'll just go with it. I had to let go of that belief. All your believies, just let it go. If it's being called and you're being called to truly listen to that divine guidance that's speaking through you and within you and all around you, and you have to know how you receive it and what you're receiving. And there's lots of various ways. And that's what the e-course was all created to do, is to break it down into steps. But what I want to share with you is like, my new belief is life is simple. I'm listening to my divine guidance. And I took some very, very advanced notes for you all. I hope that you all can appreciate my advanced notes. And my grandmother used to tell me that I don't know if you're going to amount to anything, Sarah. Your penmanship is not all that great. And I'm like, yeah, well, neither are doctors, so I think it's going to be okay. Oh, great. Now the video froze. Are y'all still on? Hey, yay! All right. So you're still on. Let's keep going. So I just want to share with you, I took note of, by me listening to my divine guidance, this is what's been going on. I built my business. I create the spark, because 3 different people at 3 different times came up to me and said, hey, there's a spark about you. I tuned in. I allowed my divine guidance to come to me. And that was the way that it would come to me at that time. I didn't start off with just listening all the time. People are like, well, I don't listen like you do. Well, I didn't listen like me either, but it took practice. Practice equals progress. So even though I give you these 5 steps in the e-course and I dive into all the questions and I give you the videos, you still have to practice it. And that's part of what How to Live Your Chosen Path is about. That's what level up becoming real. This is just a teeny little bit but it's the meat of what it is that I do on a daily basis to channel. So I'm going to keep going. So I built my business of Create the Spark. Last year, I tripled my business, all by listening to my divine guidance. I purposely took, 9-10 months, and I did not hire any coach at all to guide me in any sort of way. I wanted to listen to my own divine guidance, which I know sounds counterintuitive, because you're all like, well, are you telling me not to hire you? I'm not saying anything. You go with your gut. You listen to your divine guidance. That is what I'm saying. By listening to my divine guidance, I met Craig, who happened to be the man from my dream. And if you guys don't know that, go get my book, Hateful to Grateful. And I'm also going to be updating it to add all of those juicy details in it about listening to divine guidance, about being grateful. I had 2 children, so I met Craig, the man from my dreams. I married Craig, and I was guided. The first time that I give people information on like how to practice listening, all I did was went on what I call an intuitive walk. I had no sort of expectations, requirements, anything, any sort of pressure. I just went. And I was like, and at that time, I could really only tap into yes or no's. And so I felt my way through this walk. It wasn't like Spirit was like, you need to turn right on Fancy Street and you need to turn left on Gulf Boulevard. I mean, like, no, it wasn't like that. And I sure as heck wasn't telling someone else which direction they were supposed to go. That's not where I started. So I just walked along the way. I was guided, and I ended up, and all of a sudden on this intuitive walk, going left, right, feeling my way through yeses and nos, I ended up at the beach, and I was like, and I heard stop, and I was like, Jesus, that's not a yes or no. What's going on? And I heard turn right, and I was like, oh, okay, well, what's to my right? And I was like, Spirit, why'd you bring me here? This is just like empty space on a beach. What are you doing? And Spirit's like, this is where you'll marry Craig. And all of a sudden I was like, whoa, I can hear Spirit. That's cool. And then I was like, I'm going to marry Craig. I just started living with this dude, and I got over a divorce. Who said anything about me getting remarried? I didn't think about that. So that was like 2010. And about a year and some odd months later, on 11/11/11, Craig and I got married at that spot on the beach. All because I was divinely guided. I am not I'm kind of weird with having children as well. It wasn't something that it was like, oh my God, I love babysitting. I love children. Oh, they're my world. No, not at all. I was not this. I wouldn't go up to your children and be like, oh my God, can you hold your baby? Because I love the smell of babies. Nope, not me at all. You take care of your kid. I got two that I get to take care of. Love my children. I love holding them. I love watching them learn. I love every aspect of them, even the parts that drive me nuts, because the parts that drive me nuts is the parts that I drive myself nuts, because those are the parts that are so similar to me that I need to work on. And so these two children came to me because I listened to my divine guidance. I was so ashamed to share with people that this is how they came. And finally, I'm just like, middle finger, who cares? I received information from Spirit, and it was actually Amira's little soul 3 years prior to having her come into my womb, into the humanness. And she came as a little spirit, and this is right when I was just learning to listen. And I was practicing allowing, and I was just sitting there practicing. And all of a sudden I heard, hey, mama. And I was like, what? Where did I hear that from? Oh my God. Because I was just alone in the apartment. And I heard, mama, this is me. I'll come to you when you and daddy are ready. And please call me Amira Naomi. And I was like, oh, holy crap, this is a little soul that's coming to me, and I am not prepared for this. Oh my God. And so I didn't know how to tell Craig. So I left for a business meeting, and I didn't tell him. And when I got back from the business meeting, I had to meet him at the Don Cesar, which is a fabulous resort down on the beach. And he was at a conference there. And he pulls me off to the side by the elevator. And I was like, what's going on? What, you look worried. And he's like, I had a dream. There's this little girl, and she called me daddy. And she was like this big ball of love. And I think that you know something about this. And I was like, holy buckets. She came to him too. And I'm like, we're both crazy. Holy crap. Well, needless to say, we have a 6-year-old now who's called Amira Naomi, and she came as soon as we were ready. We had a conversation coming back from Birmingham, Alabama. We joke that Craig's friend who lives in Birmingham, that we created Amira in his daughter's bed, but that's not true at all. We just said it just to get his goat. So on our way back from Birmingham, we connected. We just were having this conversation. Not connected. Don't worry. No, whatever. I feel uncomfortable talking about this. Anyways, so we connected. We had a talk, and we both agreed that we were ready. And she came. Same goes for Joy. Actually, we both thought that Joy was going to be a boy because that's what we thought. But Joy's not a boy, unless further down the road she wants to be a boy. But currently, she is a girl. And she came like a month before we were going to move to Iowa. And this little soul's like, well, I want to be part of your family. And I'm like, oh, we were totally cool with one. So Craig and I had a conversation, and we agreed that we would bring another little soul into this world. And that was that. So then while I was pregnant, like 24-ish months along, I kept seeing the same time, and now I can't really remember what time it was, but it was the same time over and over and over, and it happened the third night. If things happen in threes, it's like, all right, I get it. I don't need to be this stubborn. So I saw the number 3 and or I saw the same number 3 different times. And finally I just woke up and I was like, all right, what do you got to tell me, Spirit? And Spirit's like, you need to name the little baby inside of you Joy Elizabeth. And I'm like, oh, well, that's fun. Okay. And then I started laughing because the whole year prior to us moving to Iowa in our Florida home, I went around every single room, every single item, and I was like, does this bring me joy? Does this bring me joy? Does this bring me joy? Well, and our last name is Sparks, so it's like, I feel like I need to, is it Marie Kondo who does the spark joy method of eliminating items in your house? I think I need to have a conversation with her about true manifesting a joy sparks. If you say it too often over a course of a year, it may actually bring a child into your being, into your existence. Anywho, I digress. So by listening to my divine guidance, we knew that I was allowing, we asked about this child, we asked about both children, we received the information, we trusted the information. I always trust because I had already set the intention that I am connecting to only love and light. And I set that intention many moons ago. So we've brought 2 children into this world. We knew where to move. We knew to move. We thought it was Colorado, so we went out there and it just didn't feel right. So we were sitting in the parking lot of the hotel and Craig and I both asked Spirit and it said, go to South Carolina. So we came to South Carolina and then it was rent in Simpsonville for 2 years and then buy in Greer. And so for anybody who doesn't know where I live, now you do. And so we moved to South Carolina. And I have messages coming through. So one moment, let me clear these out so I can see you all. We know where to move based on the divine guidance. What else? I got this whole, let's see here. I have notes. You see my notes. Yeah, right. Created the business, know what I need, what I don't need. Like this morning, I was like, I don't really need to, wash my face. I was fine yesterday. It's been clean, everything. And I was like, Spirit, do I need to wash my face? And Spirit's like, wash your face. And so I washed my face because Spirit told me to, because I followed divine guidance. So it's not just this, I get downloads of business and I get this download of when to have babies and when to get married and where to move, all this grandiose thing. I started all small. Like I started with the intuitive walk. I started by feeling my way through different cards. I just stayed curious. And somebody is messaging me. All right. And the most recent thing was the e-course. I just offered to channel for the group of How to Live Your Chosen Path, which just ended, and another group's going to be starting April 27th. And I just was like, oh, I'll channel whatever answers that you want. So I had some free time. It was like a Monday or so ago. I got the hiccups, excuse me. And a gal popped in and said, hey, can you possibly channel, what is it that I need? And so I channeled, and the message that came was like, you are always taken care of. That when we buy into times like these, we are disconnecting from our true source. We're disconnecting from God's source, creator, spirit, whatever you want to call it. And we're plugging into fear, money, the economy, others, whatever it is. And so if you're staying in alignment with your soul, with your inner being, with your inner wisdom, with your divine guidance, whatever you want to call it, when you're staying in alignment with that, then you're staying plugged into, which then aligns you to your next steps. You're following through with your divine guidance. It makes life easy, effortless, and enjoyable. It eliminates the stress, it eliminates the fear, eliminates the anxiety. The phone calls that I've been having lately is there's so much anxiety and fear around what is next. And Spirit's like, you need to create this e-course. People want it, and you need to have it easily at their disposal. They need to you need to make it easy, effortless, enjoyable, just like this information that I have given you. And I'm like, okay, people really want this? People really want to listen to their divine guidance? So it's like, yes, there are tens of thousands of people who want to listen to their divine guidance, but they don't know how. And I'm like, oh, that's still a thing? I thought people just did that. I guess not. Just because it comes easy, or just because it's simple for me, doesn't mean that it's simple for everybody else. Some people really make it complicated. And that's what I've learned, is that, just from my own experience of making things complicated, I had to learn through officiating, which, what a great way to learn, I don't have to be in some sort of accident or go through some life-changing thing. I just officiated some weddings on a beach in my flip-flops, talking about love. And I had a huge aha awakening, letting go of agreements and beliefs all around making things difficult and all the things. So I've made it available for everybody who wants it. You can go to my website, www.sarahsparks.love. sarahsparks.love. Hey, I will write it in the comments. You go ahead and click on the www.sarahsparks.love. Go to Work with Sarah. Check out the e-course. All the goodies are on there. It's $97. Oh, whoop-de-doo. Yay! Versus $1,200 that it would be to work with Mumua. And yeah, Spirit's like, you got to make it available, Sarah. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. So even I get still stubborn when I'm listening to my divine guidance. So if you get stubborn, just ignore it and just walk away and be like, all right, Spirit, you know best. Let's do this thing. And that's what I do. As now I have conversations that seem like it's in my head, but it's really just with Spirit. So in case you all thought that I was crazy before, now you know that I really am. So there, that's been cleared up for everybody. What else do you want to know? Now I'm able to channel. So just because it's how to listen to your divine guidance doesn't mean that you can learn to listen to. And my computer went blank again. That's amazing. So the clock is still ticking. I'm going to be wrapping it up. I hope that you have written down the how to listen to your divine guidance, allow us to receive, trust, act. If you really want to learn how to do that, take the e-course. It is at www.sarahsparks.love. And I hope you liked all my examples and anecdotes, and love you all. See you soon.